Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. We just got our first 4.1.1 Evocati data mines. Some spoilers and other things are going to be ahead, just so you're aware. So if you don't want to see the spoilers, feel free to click off of the video. But for those of you that want to see the brand new stuff, and there is a lot of brand new stuff and some very interesting surprises, then feel free to sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. So these leaks/data mines are coming from Danny on the Star Citizen Reddit page. He has done a ton of different posts in the past with different data mines and leaking things for past patches, and he's been very accurate as far as I can tell. So I have no reason to not trust these leaks and data mining. So we are going to go through this and see what the new stuff is that has been put into the 4.1.1 files. So we're going to start off, we're just going to go section by section. There are quite a few of them, so I'll try and not be too long on them, but we're just going to go through these. So first section is going to be Fleet Week 2025. So this is Invictus. This will be in May. So Invictus is going to be, according to this, May 15th to the 27th at Area 18. There will be an Idris tour on the Area 18 rooftop. And possible ship displays are going to be the Starlancer TAC as a flyable ship, the Starlancer build as a likely display ship, so they may show the exterior of it, but we won't be able to fly it yet. Apparently, the Anvil Paladin is going to be a flyable, and a new straight-to-flyable that has been revealed is the Mirai Guardian MX, a heavy ordnance missile variant. So that's going to be similar to the Fury MX, where it doesn't have any guns on it, it just has a crap ton of missiles for that little tiny thing. So I imagine it'll be a similar orientation. You'll have a crap ton of missiles strapped to the outside little struts of the Guardian, and you'll have a crazy amount of missile firepower. So we'll have to see what that ends up being. Maybe it can carry, size 5s or size 4s, or I'm sure it'll, carry at least 1, 2, and 3. Who knows? We'll have to see. Very interested to see on that. I'm really surprised, to be honest, about the Paladin. If this turns out to be true and the Paladin is already going to be flyable at Invictus, that'll be a very quick turnaround from its concept sale at IAE in November/December of just a couple months ago. So we'll have to see if that ends up being true. I'm 99% sure we will be getting the Starlancer TAC based off of the most recent monthly report. So with that, let's go ahead and let's go on to the next section. So for the next section, we have new size 12 and size 10 torpedoes. Each of these new torpedoes come in cross-section, electromagnetic, and IR variants. So if I'm reading that right, I think that would mean that there'd be 12 total torpedoes, because there's 4 listed here. We have the Bering EX-T10 Executor size 10 torpedo, the Talon Vanquisher X size 10 torpedo, the Bering EX-T10, well, I guess that's the same thing again, so I don't know, maybe it's a little bit different than that. And then we have the Talon Calamity X, one, I don't remember what Roman numeral that is, maybe it's 12, size 12 torpedo. I guess that makes sense since it's a size 12 torpedo. So that is very interesting. So sounds like we're going to have some variation in terms of what you could equip your Polaris with. So I could see, you could load 10 of the cross-section one, 10 of an infrared, 10 of a electromagnetic, and then have like a couple extra of, whatever you want. So you could have a little bit of a varied loadout on the Polaris, depending on, and that could influence which type of torpedo you use depending on what the target is, or things like that. The size 12 one, the only thing I can think of is that would be for like the Javelin joining in on, some big battle that, those sort of things usually happen around Fleet Week, so that may be what that is. Otherwise, I'm not aware of any other ships that can fire size 12 torpedoes, so yeah, that's what I assume that is for. So that is going to be the new torpedoes. Let's go on to the next section. Next, we have new flight combat tutorial missions, Gilly's Pilot School. Called Gilly's Pilot School, this appears to be a reintroduction of a flight/combat tutorial. As of this moment, there are 9 different variations of missions. These missions are available in the PU and feature the previous tutorial voice actor leading the player to various combat training scenarios held at newly implemented asteroid mining base locations. Note, initial PTU patch had these fail to spawn enemies on arrival. So we have a shipwave attack, Gilly's Pilot School 1, single hostile targets, and then multiple hostile targets, hostile target priority, stealth ships, missiles and countermeasures, larger multi-crewed ships, multiple shields and long-range targeting, multiple very large multi-crewed ships with backup, endgame Polaris ship with escort battles. So that sounds like that'll be a very fun challenge to take on, especially if you're a newer player going to try and take on a Polaris. You're going to need a couple of friends to do that, so be aware of that. Those sound like they're going to be really good fun. I'm looking forward to trying those out. Next, it sounds like we are going to be getting some new Wicklow rewards. So we have listed here, there is going to be a new Aegis Saber Firebird War Special, a Aegis Saber Peregrine Wicklow Speedy Special, a Crusader Intrepid Wicklow Work Special, a Misk Starlancer Max Wicklow Work Special, an RSI Zeus Mark II CL, and ES Work Special as well from Wicklow. So several more ships that are presumably going to go into that ship pool of possible ships that you can get from trading with Wicklow. At least right now you have to use Karenite. Maybe that material will change in the future, but that is some interesting to see some, more ships added. They'll probably get some, and really nice skin with them, some nice components and things like that. Next we have a Race to Regen global event. Previously, we mentioned a Rayari-driven mission to collect worm eggs to solve the ongoing regeneration crisis. It appears they are intending to have various Stanton corporations compete to solve the problem, which lore has implied will provide benefits to the leading corporations in some way. There's a player and system-wide count of the contributions made to progress scientific research, as well as a display for a leading corporation. So this is probably going to be an event for because the Rayari chain of events that are happening right now is the B story of this year's content-driven approach. So it's probably not going to be as big as a main event that's going to probably have a more significant impact on the future of the game, but it'll probably be something new that will have some, I'm sure, reward you can get as part of it. Like they're talking about here, if you're part of the leading corporation, there might be some specific benefits to being aligned with that corporation. So we'll have to see on that. Very interested to see what that turns out to be. Next, we have a small little section here that is called ASD/Pyro Research Facilities, Argo's Oddment event. Nothing too much added info-wise, however some additional details confirm the involvement of radiation elements, as well as a general loop of eradicating eggs. So maybe this is another new mission type where it involves wearing specialized armor, and there's like a radiation area, you need to go eradicate some eggs. That kind of sounds like Helldivers, to be honest. One of the things you can do in Helldivers. So we'll have to see what that turns out to be. There's not too much on that right now. Let's go ahead and check on the next thing. Next, we have Physical Scripts Currency. Items that seem to be intended to be utilized as trading currency for items. Currently, these physical currencies have two variants, one for the Mercenary Guild and one for the Council. So that would be one for the good guys and one for the criminals, I believe. Mercenary Scrip. Issued by the Mercenary Guild, this scrip guarantees the bearer goods in trade at authorized locations as outlined in the Guild's bylaws and Statutes 202C-05A, not legal tender. Council Scrip. Consider this scrip your reward for a job well done. While not credits, it can be traded in to certain people for certain things. So this is very, very interesting because this is a new currency, which, we kind of have that in a way with the Wicklow missions, trading him minerals or items. That's kind of a different form of currency, but this is like a much more obvious, specifically listed different form of currency. So that's going to be very interesting. This is stuff that I know that they talked a lot about these sort of things on the 1.0 presentation at CitizenCon last year. So it seems like they are able to get some of the stuff into the game already. Seems like it doesn't require a huge amount of new features or technology or anything. So that is going to be very interesting to see what kind of rewards we can get for obtaining these scripts from either the Mercenary Guild or the Council. Next, we have what I assume will be replacing sort of the Xenothreat invasion around Invictus. It is called Hunt the Polaris, Fleet Week event. Frontier fighters have stolen a fully armed Polaris during Fleet Week festivities, so the CDF/Dually have called on the player to help chase it down. The mission has the player fight a group of frontier fighters and then set up an ambush at a transient jump point into Pyro that the frontier fighters are attempting to escape through with said Polaris after interrogating a member captured from the initial encounter. That sounds really, really cool. Now, will there actually be a transient jump point into Pyro? Probably not. It'd probably just be, if you fail the mission, they quantum off or something. I doubt we're seeing transient jump points yet. But going to be able to set up an ambush to take down a Polaris that assumingly will also have escorts, you're thinking hammerheads, other craft like that, I'm sure. That is going to be very, very fun, I think. What'll be interesting to see is if they make the AI Polaris super, super tanky, like Idris level tanky, so it just takes forever to take it down. We'll have to see. But I'm really looking forward to playing that. Sounds absolutely insanely cool. Next, we're going to be talking about some new missions that are listed in the leaks. First, we have ambush missions. Seemingly coming sometime soon are a new variation of flight combat-focused missions called ambush missions. These missions, taken either from Headhunters or Foxwell, have players lower their signatures through hiding in high emission zones to set up for an approaching grouping of ships. There's a mixture of fail states, such as springing the ambush too early, or allowing your target to run away. Here's some info on their difficulty. We have very low risk 1 to 3 single seat craft, low risk 1 to 3 tough single seat craft, medium risk 1 large ship with a small escort, high risk several large craft with a sizable escort, very high risk several sub-capital craft with a sizable escort, extreme risk military frigate with escort. So I assume that's probably going to be either an Idris or a Polaris. Probably there might be both. I wouldn't be surprised. So basically, it seems a new take on the bounty hunter difficulty level missions, but where you have to go set it basically a trap for them. So that's going to be very interesting. If I believe lowering your signatures in the high emission zones, usually like certain gas clouds or areas like that, will lower your emissions quite a lot. So I imagine it'll be somewhere that there's gas clouds like that. But yeah, that sounds really, really fun. Sounds like it'll be a really fun thing you can do with a group as well. And I'm assuming there'll be cargo and loot and stuff you can get from the ships after you take them down too. Next, we have security patrol missions. In addition to ambush missions, security patrol missions appear to be on their way. These missions have a similar 6-tier difficulty curve. Players are tasked with joining a patrol route in search of enemies and their equipment, satellites. At this point, there appears to be some leftover placeholder descriptions that imply that they're testing this both planetary side and at various asteroid locations. So again, some more new ship combat missions that they're going to be PvE focused, so this should give people that love PvE a little bit more things to do. I think for big groups as well, this will be really fun to try out as well. So we'll have to see what those end up turning out to be. And then we have new mission changes and other related notes. It appears that both the new security patrol and ambush missions are introducing additional variety through various events that can occur during a mission. Ace pilots, for instance, can spawn high-end loot if killed, but can also escape. Chicken ships might attempt to bail out, which if allowed may cause reinforcements to spawn. During patrols, various things can be spotted along the way, such as derelict/abandoned ships to pick apart, as well as allied/enemy satellites the players are ordered to ignore or destroy. These missions in particular have named communicators, which have a variety of reactive voice lines. Stows for Headhunters, and Dispatcher Walton for Foxwell. So I think I remember these being these new people you interact with the missions being mentioned in, I don't remember if it was the most recent monthly report or the one before that, but they have been mentioned recently. So sounds like these are coming in really soon. So that sounds really interesting too. So there's different qualifications for, what kind of loot maybe you could get, or different things that can happen that the AI will do as part of the mission, which adds a lot more depth to the gameplay. So I think that'll be really interesting to see, assuming the missions work when they come out, which, knowing the game, they probably won't at first, but hopefully throughout the PTU testing cycle they'll get it pretty good. All right, next we have a whole big section of apparently a ton of new locations. So let's go ahead and go through them. So, Stanton Mining Bases, a privately owned mining base that has been registered with the UEE Bureau of Resource Management. No unauthorized access allowed. So maybe this is going to be like a space version of a distribution center, perhaps? So around Hurston, there are going to be 9 medium and 3 small bases. So there's going to be different sizes as well. Crusader will have 10 medium and 2 small. ArcCorp will have 13 medium and 6 small. And Microtech will have 14 medium and 6 small. Derelict mining compounds. Owing to unstable conditions, this mining compound is no longer in operation. Each have 4 unique compounds, A, B, C, and D. Daymar, Gaffney mining compound and Bowd mining compound. Aberdeen, Reyes mining compound and Sloan mining compound. Fuego, so this is 2 Pyro. Dezaki mining compound and Redfield mining compound, and Monox, Fillmore mining compound and Vasco mining compound. That's very interesting. So probably some new sort of mission there as well, I would imagine. Then we have Pyro remote mining bases. So these, I guess, these are in addition to the asteroid bases, I would assume. So we have this Pyrotechnic amalgamated remote mining base is no longer in active operation. Caution is advised. Region A, 19 medium and 4 small. Region B, 17 medium and 4 small. Region C, 18 medium and 3 small. And Region D, 18 medium and 3 small. So I don't know exactly how those regions work out. Probably has something to do with the planets, I would imagine. So we'll have to see. So I'm assuming those are going to be more new locations in Pyro. So that'll be very interesting. So there's a crap ton apparently of these new things coming in that I'm sure there will be plenty of new missions, new content, all sorts of new stuff to explore there. So once it gets to Wave 1 PTU where we can go explore it, we're definitely going to go check that out, and I'll make sure to show you guys that in the video. All right, and then rounding off here, we have a few additional notes. Area 18 sewers content, now municipal works, as described at CitizenCon. 2 primary layers with 3 additional segments labeled chapters. Side note, confirms previously leaked information that this is the new direction for building interiors in general with the sewers title more properly. A bunch of locations' various desk workers are getting a large amount of general dialogue which the player can interact with to get location information and more. Dozens of new lines here for plenty of bite-sized conversation. Morrow Tour entries? I'm not sure what that is. Some new localization for escape pods. And the Greycat CAV and Anvil Paladin file inclusions. No definitive ties to either this patch or Fleet Week as of yet. Okay, so some interesting other little notes. So I don't know, maybe we'll be getting those Area 18 instanced interior content sooner than we think. Or, maybe it's just some things making its way into the files that we're going to see maybe in a couple of months. I'm not sure. I think it'll be a really nice quality of life change, probably mostly for new players. For the dialogue being added to desk workers, you can go up and ask them a question, and in theory, they'll be able to answer you, where do I go for the spaceport, or where do I go to get some food, things like that. So hopefully that'll be very helpful for new players especially. The other things, I'm not entirely sure what those are going to be. Again, seems like there's some indicators in the files for a new Greycat CAV, which is probably one of the silhouettes we saw at CitizenCon. They look kind of like an Ursa-sized vehicle. We'll have to see. As well as potentially the Anvil Paladin. So very interesting initial leaks for 4.1.1. I'm really looking forward to getting some more patches probably in the next few days. I assume it won't be an Evocati for super long, and then it'll go to Wave 1. We'll be able to take a look at a lot more stuff, and I'll make sure to make videos about all of the brand new stuff for you guys to see as soon as that is available. So if you enjoyed this walkthrough of the latest 4.1.1 Evocati news, then feel free to like and subscribe, as it very much helps the channel. All of you are so awesome, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. And until next time, I'll see you in the verse.